What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the locker room. I am your host and your favorite Kansas City girl, Kennedy Bright. And as always, what is said in the locker room stays in the locker room. Get your playbooks ready, guys. What is good, rookies? In this week's episode, we will be discussing when a talking phase, situationship, whatever, is just gone just too long, okay? About a few years ago, I met this athlete. We were in, I guess, a talking phase, whatever you want to call it, for about 2 to 3 years. Like now makes like four. We went on a blocking spree. Fast forward to now, we are reconnected. I'm like, do I really want to do this over again? Like, what is going on? It's a crazy story from meeting him on Tinder to seeing other girls at his games to troll accounts to my friends catching him on a date in person with another girl at a very nice restaurant. Let's just get straight into it. Since the story is over the course of about 4 years now, I will try to do my best just to make it straight bullet points. Like, I won't probably give as much detail as possible, but like enough for you to understand the dynamic. So, let me take you back to December of 2018. I was home for winter break from college, fresh off of my, assault issues and stuff, that incidents that happened at my university. My life was all over the place, as you can imagine. And in our friend group at my college, one of our friends had met her boyfriend on Tinder and they just got like engaged. Not engaged. I'm so sorry. They are still dating to this day though, but they just like decided he asked her to be his girlfriend. So we were like, oh, made a joke. I'm like, okay, I'm about to get back on Tinder. Like, let me see what's on here, what's happening. It's exactly the day before New Year's Eve when I matched with him. He was an athlete in Kansas City, and that is all I'll say, just so folks don't like try to connect dots and be my business, all right? But we planned to spend New Year's Eve together after he like was gonna go out with his teammates. And he told me that I could stay the night since like I was living at home and stuff. It's gonna be late. And was like, you can just stay the night at my place. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, bet. Looking back at it, I honestly don't know if that was probably the best idea. Why, like, Kennedy, you met this man on Tinder and you're about to go like after the stuff I just went through. Like, I know. But honestly, like he seemed really cool. Like I'd seen his face and stuff. So my cousins, they knew where I was going. They got my locations, things like that. So there's that. Later in the future, I told my mom, I guess my mom, I guess I never told her I met him on Tinder, and she literally freaked out. It's like, Kennedy. Yeah, so that's kind of dangerous. Be safe, y'all. He was tall, that's my type, you know what I'm saying, over 6 foot. I'm a real like 6'5" and taller type girl. He was quiet, but he like talked to me, which is like the perfect combination. Like I like you quiet, but I want you to talk to me, okay? We watched the Sandra Bullock movie at the time on Netflix, Bird Box. That movie had just came out. So we watched that movie. We had a really good time. He showed me his favorite like little cartoon. I won't tell y'all which one because I don't want people connecting no dots. We listened to music. It was just real, it was a very nice chill night. And we had some fun. The next morning, I think he had like training or something. I really don't remember. And he walks out of the room and I can hear his like one of his bros was like, did she come or something like that? And he was like, or how'd it go or something like that. He's like, I hear him, shh, oh bro, she's still in there. Oh, okay, okay. And he's like giggling. I'm like, why y'all hyping him up? Like, do you not get bitches? Like, why y'all hype? Like, I know I'm fine and all, but like, definitely was secure in the bag, but he fumbled. Anyways. So that night before, like, of course, like, I go home and stuff, I don't really remember. The night, like, when I was with him, I had posted a story of him on my, like, private story, and one of the girls I went to school with who also I was friends with, she swipes up. Okay, we're gonna give her a name because it's a lot of girls involved in the story, and I do not want people getting confused. We're gonna call her, Kim. Why the freak? I don't know, that ain't got nothing to do with her real name. Anyways, she, like, swiped up on my story and was like, "Oh my god, is that so and so?" And I'm like, "Oh god, not somebody recognizing him." And she was like, "Oh, it's so funny, ha ha ha." And I'm like, "Girl, what's funny, right? What's funny?" So I had did text him about like, "Oh my god, so and so like that." He ignores it and says nothing. I'm like, "Okay, that's a little weird, but whatever." Fast forward, of course, clearly it's January 2019 because we spent New Year's together, brought in the year together. Okay, so of course, I went to one of his games. Like, what else would I do, right? So I went to one of his games, and after that, like, I just made the choice that I was going to transfer to UMKC. I was going to go to school in Kansas City. Forget it. I wasn't going back to my old school. Like, screw MSU, right? It's now February, and I have only talked to him, or like, not talked to him. I've only seen him like one or two times at this point. I'm sending paragraphs like, "Do you like me? Like, what's going on?" Like, girl, like, I was in my feelings. It was a lot. I think the thing was I wasn't really used to, like, a nice, quiet boy who also was an athlete, like, just everything. So I was really, like, Yeah, I was in my feelings, right? And the thing was, he just kind of like he wasn't like clear about what he felt or his direction with me. He was not clear. He was let's make that sure. He wasn't clear. And it just was like a lot of long paragraphs going back and forth. And because like with guys, I get it, December to January is like a big prime time season. So it's most stressful, but I did not care. It's like, do you want to be with me or not? Like, let me know. I was just getting, like I said, a lot of runarounds, no clear responses about like his intentions or whatever. So I just kind of like left him alone a little bit and like we just like saw each other on social media. We talked a little bit here and there. I met with him again like in March or something. I don't know. It's now about April or May of 2019. Like I'm skipping over a lot because like I said, it's a long time period and I want to just get straight to bullet points of the issues and things like that. Like I said, he would go through periods where we would not talk regularly for like 2 weeks at a time. Then he would swipe up my story. We talk again, have a little combo, whatever. Like we'll see. So I had just moved into my apartment up north, and at the time, like that apartment was normal to me. Like it's like this is the requirement, baby. Now on TikTok, it's considered a luxury apartment. Like don't play with me. My stainless steel, my granite countertops, my marble. Like don't play with me. My place was fire. If y'all go on YouTube and look at it, my apartment was a shit. Okay, so I was like, yeah, you need to come through, see my little nice little place. Okay. And like your season's over. So what's the excuse now? What's the excuse? Like it's off season, but what's the excuse, right? And I just remember something like, girl, listen, one of the times I just remember I'm on the couch, on my couch, and I'm like crying. Like, do you like me? I don't know how to act. Like, girl, whatever. Kennedy, shut up. Like, I should have got a grip. All right. And of course, he's like gone all throughout the summer. He gets back in KC in like, the fall or whatever. And y'all remember the girl I told you about, right? Kim. So Kim like swiped up the one who swiped up. She's like, we should meet up. Me and you, we go to like this like nice little juice place up north. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. Kim and I also went to high school together. We ran track together. So like, yeah, I'm cool. Like it wasn't. I didn't think it was super weird, but like, yeah. So I get there, and I'm gonna read this to make sure I got the facts. We get to the juice place. We're sitting here, and she lets me know that a girl who was in her friend group, like I went to school with her, obviously, but like that girl wasn't like my friend, but she was just like another black girl in my school. She let me know that that girl also was talking to him, and I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean? And she was like, oh yeah, like from January to about like March or something. Like she was staying at his place all the time. Like they was hooking up. She was always spending the night, and I'm like, spending the night in the same bed. I was spending the night. So I'm like, hold on a second, like what? And I think, like, what threw me off is because, he's so quiet, so clearly he's not doing nothing, right? Clearly he just focused on his career. He's not doing anything. Another problem too is I'm not gonna get on the girl's head. I'm not gonna do that. That's disrespectful. But when it comes to him, he's a very insecure person, which I hate because I'm like, what are you insecure about? Like, stop. So I'm just upset and I'm just feeling real stupid. Like when you go back to times in your mind and you're like, play, like you're trying to figure shit out. Like to me, honestly, I felt like when did you have time to do this? When did you have time to be laid up, sleeping, letting other girls spend the night at your house, but you always was so busy? Like, when did you have time to do that? Because why was I not there? If you had a free moment, you should have been like, Kennedy, come through, come spend the night. Come spend the night. That's what you do. You don't divide up your time for another girl. Like, nah. So now I'm mad, right? Now I'm mad, I'm upset. And I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. What's even crazier is the girl. When I came back to Kansas City and I transferred schools and stuff, so when I come back to KC and I've transferred and everything, she was like, I was stopping to myself, like, oh my God, we should hang out. Yeah, let's totally be friends. I can show you around. Like, cause like I know Kansas City clearly because I grew up here, but I don't know Kansas City in like a 21, like a grown or, not high school person vibe. So I'm like, yeah, put me on, right? The thing that just was weird is like I appreciate that that wasn't weird, but the simple like what made it weird was just the simple fact that you see me like posting him at his games, you see me posting like pics of him on my story. Like it would be like his game stuff, not like but the thing I mess with him. Okay? Why would you want to hang out with me? Why would you want to do stuff? One night his team was having a thing, right? And of course I wasn't gonna go by myself. Like I said, I just came back to Kansas City. I have like no friends. So I asked her, like I asked her about it or whatever. She's like, oh yeah. She gave me the whole runaround, right? Never actually like met up with them. So I ended up not going. I'm glad I didn't because what do I look like going into a party or a function with this girl, right? And girl, no. So I'm glad I didn't go, but like she ended up basically kind of like standing me up and like her and her friends just went. I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't care. So I just, it's weird. Like I just don't get why girls are like that. Like honestly, like you should have said something to me. Like, oh, do you talk to him? Because I mess with him too. But yeah. And so then I'm like, what is your type? Like when you see a girl and you just be like, that doesn't equal me. So I'm like, I'm trying to keep it cool when I'm with the girl Kim because I'm like, I'm not gonna let you think I'm flustered. I'm not gonna let you think. So I'm just like, oh, really? That's real interesting. Crazy thing is, I did bring it up to him, and he told me like, oh, I'm not sleeping with her. I'm not talking to her anymore. That was a long time ago. I think he said, I don't remember what he said. She said, honestly, like that's what happens when you go through shit with dudes and they put you through trauma. You block stuff out. Okay. But long story short, I do remember him saying that that was a long time ago. He stopped messing with her like back in January or something like that. But my feelings are still hurt because I'm like, hurt? Like, okay. Anyways, just fast forward to August. It's now August of 2019. I'm the new girl on the track team. I don't have any friends. I don't have I'm sorry, track girls are evil. They always will be evil. They're vicious. I do not mess with them. Okay. So I'm nervous. It's another girl. We had like lot of a lot of transfers. Well, it wasn't transfers. It was just a lot of like new people on the team because it's a new part of the year. Like new freshmen, and so it was a girl was a transfer. So I'm like, oh my god, she was this black girl. Like I thought she was pretty. Like oh, let's be friends. Like we were hanging out. We were really cool. So I told her about him and like showed her him or whatever. She's like, oh my god, bro, he is so fine. Back that shit up. Run that back. What did you just say? And it gave me a little weird vibe. I'm like, okay, whatever. So me and her just start hanging out and being friends, but like that still's in the back of my head because I'm like, not too much, not too fucking much. Okay. Later, she starts kind of getting a little weird, and not really like talking to me, like not really like hanging with me. She just starts hanging with other people. She won't really like speak to me. So I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get some stuff like connecting some dots. I finally find her Instagram. She's unfollowed everybody else on the team, but she didn't follow Kennedy Alexis Bright. So I'm like, why not? I'm the queen. Why you didn't follow me? She doesn't follow me. And what do I look and I see? Why is one of our mutuals him? I said pause. I look and I'm like, why y'all following each other? That's weird, right? Clearly he knows I run track. Clearly he knows I'm on the track team. Clearly her bio says she's on my school's track team. Why are you why? And I'm gonna tell you why, like I feel like it's disrespectful. There's plenty of girls in Kansas City. Why would you interact back with somebody who's on my team? Like that's just messy. That's just weird. Like I would not do that to you on someone on your team. Why would you do that to me? Right? Like it's embarrassing. Like, do guys not think about that? And the thing is, they're sitting here like liking each other's pictures. He's like almost all her pictures. Like we're doing the liking game. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Y'all know what the liking game means. You know what it means. So if a girl likes your pictures first or whatever, or if a girl follows you, why are you liking her pictures back? Why are you following her? So I'm like about it. So I'm just like really upset. And, like, are you trying to like embarrass me? Like now got me out here looking like you got me out here looking stupid. Okay. The thing about me, I never get like it. Okay, it became a problem for me, and I'm the kind of person. It's not how do I describe it? I don't get jealous of other girls, but I can become self-conscious. And maybe that's the same thing, I don't know, but to me it's different. I then become self-conscious about myself because I'm like, what about all of this chocolate right here has you looking for things in other people? I know none of these girls can touch me. I know none of these girls are better than me. They don't bring nothing more to the table than I bring. But obviously, you feel like there's something that I'm lacking, right? So now I'm kind of feeling some type of way. Like you're supposed to be focused on your career. You're supposed to be focused on your season, right? This is the bullshit that you're telling me. But yeah, you got time to possibly entertain other people to see what's up. Why you need to entertain other people? I'm giving you everything that you want and need. So why do you need someone else to entertain you if you're so focused? So yeah, it caused a lot of problems. Probably like the whole rest of the year it did, literally. So of course, um, funny thing is, like, it was even more strange. I even tried to follow her. She wouldn't follow me back. Like, why you? So now I know like some shit's going on. Me and the girl do get into it about it. Okay, we do get into it about it. And if I still catch her outside, it's on site. Anyways, I ain't got no scholarship to lose. Okay. I'm playing. I'm not a fighter, y'all. I'm too pretty to fight. I tell people that all the time. I'm too pretty to fight. Like, look at me. Girls will try to tear my face up just because I'm pretty. Like they want me to be ugly. So I'm not gonna give you a chance to scratch my face or cut me, put scars on my face. Girl, bye. No. So let's pull up some screenshots. Cause let's call it how it needs to be called. So I got the proof. I come ready with my receipts. So this is what I said. This is September 3rd, 2019. I said, my friend blank on my track team is probably going to be DMing you soon. She thinks you're fine. He goes, laughing emoji, damn, for real, question mark. Like, what the, right? I said, yes, she's one of the transfers here. He goes, all right, bet I haven't got one, but for show. I said, "Huh?" I said, "Oh, a DM will have fun?" Question mark. So he swipes up on one of my stories or whatever. Long story short, he's trying to play it dumb, right? So I said, so he was like, I said like, oh, like 3 weeks, because at this point too, he told me he need to focus on his season and his career right now. So we still like talking, but like whatever. So I said, right, you just needed move. You just needed room to move me out so you have make room for other people. He's like, chill. It's not like that in caps at all. And I said, "Nah, it's exactly like that. I see now." He goes, "How? What did I say for it to be that way? I really ain't been on shit. That's why we haven't done anything yet." I said, "Today. Today you made it clear. Before you ask me what I'm talking about, I'm referring to when I told you about old girl." He says, "What did I say? The most I did was say damn for real with a laughing emoji. What did you get from that?" Like, don't play stupid. What do you mean what did I get from that? Like, am I tripping out? Like, why would you say that? I ain't got nothing yet but damn for show. You're supposed to be reassured. Okay. I said, and you said you didn't get one yet, referring to the DM. And I got that. You're obviously interested in even seeing what's up with it. So he goes, because you told me I was gonna get one regardless, so what was I supposed to say? Question mark. I haven't fully cut you off at all because if I did, we wouldn't be talking right now and I would have never responded. I said, right. I said, okay, cool. But you still didn't deny it. Like, didn't deny that he's, like, obviously kinda, like, gonna be interested in, like, communicating with her if it happens. I go into just basically explaining to him, like, "I know how this game works, like, what I just told you guys, like, this is what's gonna happen. Next thing you know, you're gonna be like, 'I didn't plan for it to happen, it just happened, we ended up together, it ended up working out, like, whatever.'" And he's like, "Why are you speaking into existence? Come on, Kennedy, like, be better than that." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Right, okay. So, do I still, like, keep seeing him? Like, yes, if I remember correctly, that is the exact night he came over to my place. Again. Okay. So, like I said, we go through the few weeks of the regular, like, just off and on, like, bullshit. It's still September, and I now have the confirmation that I need, right? So he's posting like a birthday shout out for one of his teammates, and screen recording like a video, I guess, that he had in his phone or something. I don't know. And I could see the girl's name pop up. It said her name is typing. I'm like, it's typing, right? So cue more screenshots. Now, mind you, this is like just like maybe the same week, if not like this is right after you just told me. Like, remember you made it like I'm tripping, nothing would have happened. You wouldn't even entertain her. That's what I wanted, full confirmation, but you really didn't give that. And also, I never brought up to him about her liking her pictures because I feel like that was like dumb and basic, but it did piss me off. I also forgot to mention to you guys that like that night that he came over after me and him talked about the girl thing, I had posted his slide or whatever, like my slide inside of his because like his feet are way bigger than mine. And he like swipes up and was like, bro, on the public story though. And I was like, it's a freaking slide. And, like his hand was in it, of course, and like little like wristband things he wears. I'm like, why you tripping? I did have the girl, of course, on Snapchat, but I'm like, why you tripping? So I swipe up, I said, laugh my ass off. I see you F with her name. I see is what I said with laughing emojis. He gonna say, no, I actually don't fuck with anybody right now. We just having a conversation. That's all. I told you I was keeping to myself. I said blank his name. I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid. You both tried to play me like I was dumb, but I'm quite familiar with the game. F both of y'all. You are you fake ass. Not even worth it. I act like you're going to hurt me. Well, if I did, it's clearly because I knew I couldn't trust your ass. Like, of all people, I sat here and defend you and talk about how you're a good guy. The whole time you're a effing snake. And I didn't listen like I see now. I'm shocked right now. Wow. Don't respond. I don't care what you have to say. He responds with a paragraph. Okay. We literally had a conversation about her getting in a car accident. I knew you were going to have a problem with even seeing that. I shouldn't have even posted it, but you really can get off my phone trying to cuss me out and call me a bad person cuz you can ask her damn self we don't talk. If you ain't got nothing positive to say, then please either don't speak or block me. I said blank, it's always a quote unquote conversation. You have her on Snap in the first place. Good to know you can give a fuck about her, referring to him asking talking about he cares about because she was in a car accident. I said, like I literally called this weeks ago and you told me I need to chill out. Laughed my ass off. Girls have motives and plans here. He goes, you do need to chill because I don't talk to her and that's not true at all. I said, I actually don't care. You talk to her enough reason for me to even enough reason for me to never want anything with you again, even as a friend, which is why I didn't even ask you, were you talking to her? I just know you are. And I knew it and I'm right. I just don't understand why you're tripping. That's really the only conversation we've had. But if you really want to unadd me, all that just confirms that because I don't want to. What? I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, I forgot about this. I said because a teammate of mine tried to tell me that she was also talking to you and I didn't believe them. Obviously, it's more than just that, just a conversation with her for people to think that. I know girls, I know how they work already. And then he says again, I don't mess with her, Kennedy. Other than a other than I've seen her once, like how you see her. I only have her on Snap and have barely talked to her. I haven't brought any negativity towards the situation. I'm trying to be positive as possible because I know it hurts you to even believe that we talk or anything like that. Like you're the last person I've been with and you're the only person. Okay. Like I really want to read the messages because I want you to really understand like where I'm coming from and why certain things hurt me in regard to this person later because he's always making me feel like I'm tripping, right? So we just keep going back and forth for like forever. He keeps trying to tell me like he's never like talked to her or whatever. If I remember correctly, some other stuff happens because I remember literally me saying to him, he then flips the story and is like, well, I've had another conversation with her too. And I'm like, I thought you said you only had one conversation with her about her accident, which she didn't post about her accident. So that's why I was wondering. She ended up also being my weight partner, which sucked. So I was like, how did you know about her accident? Like you had to have been talking to her in some type of way for her to tell you about her car accident. And I had gotten in a car accident. He didn't say shit to me. So there we go. So like I said, I'm really feeling some type of way. And it's like bothering me, right? And you're trying to like tell me it's in my head, but I told you weeks ago that she was gonna approach you. Then later he does say like, "Oh yeah, well she did DM me and for my snap, and that's how we got on Snap." I'm like, "How'd she get your snap, and why did you take it? I just told you what was gonna happen. I told you her motive, and you knew how it was gonna make me feel. Why would you do that now, right?" Okay, so you guys get the idea. Can kind of really see what kind of person he is. It's now Halloween and I'm out and I see that he's out with his teammates. We're all at Westport. Did I speak to him? No, because I'm irritated. I'm pissed off. You're playing with my emotions. And he ran in a different direction with his boys. Yeah, go in a different direction. Y'all big ass. Like I can see y'all. Y'all are athletes. I see y'all. And whatever. So I don't know what's going on. I'm in a different section. His teammate comes over to me. Now, this teammate is a very important teammate because he relays some information about what's going on with him later in like the next conversation. He swept us with my story, talking about how I looked really good that night. And I'm like, so why didn't you speak? He's like, well, I didn't really like whatever, like bullshit. Like I'm not dumb, okay. I'm still, of course, like accepting what he's telling me and accepting the mess. Um, and now we are in November of 2019, and this is where like all the drama starts. And I like should have been gone before, but right now is when I really should have left. So, first off, the teammate I told you about that like he was hanging with me and my friends when we were out. He said something to me. He's like, "Bro, I want to try you or something." And I'm like, "I already talked to somebody. Like, I don't talk to people's teammates. I know dudes talk, like whatever." And basically, he let me know, like, "Yeah, I was warned not to mess with you or something." I said, "Who said that?" He was like, he said his name. I'm like, "What did he say about me?" He was like, "He told me or whatever, like, bro, you gonna regret it if you ever like start messing with her. Like, she's crazy." That reminds me, I need to bring that up with him right now. I said, "I'm crazy." That's what he said. So my feelings are now hurt because I'm like, why would he say that about me, right? So I'm like, whatever. You guys remember Kim, right? So Kim goes to school. I won't say where because then people connect dots. She goes to school, of course, in a different state, and he has a away game in the same city as her. So I look or whatever, I'm watching her story, and she posted how she told him to come see her so they could hook up or whatever because she wanted to sleep with him. She posted on her private story that she knows I'm in, talking about trying to have sex with him, and she knows I talked to him. Like that to me was wild, right? And she was like, "Oh, he said he's too busy, he can't do it or whatever." So I'm like, "Wow, like that's really what you're doing?" Like, and I thought whole time, like I thought you were my friend. But okay, bet. Ooh, wee. I see what athletes will make a bitch do now. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm gonna wait. I'm the kind of person, like I said, I like to say things to guys' face. I'm gonna wait until I'm with him in person so I can get the true story. And I do. So he gets back from his game. I meet up with him And he goes, "No, I didn't see her in person. I was busy. Like we didn't have time. Like we were in the game. We had a game like in and out, like da da da, like that." That's not comforting. Like you're supposed to be letting me know right now that I would not go see this girl. Like I would not do that to you. I know you know her. I know you're friends with her. I won't put you in that position. Like that's what you should have said when she contacted you. Not that you guys didn't have time, that you were busy, that you were playing, that you had to get like that's what you should have said. Because now this is like what, girl number like 2 or 3 that can think that they can just like fuck with you even though you're supposed to be fucking with Kennedy heavy. And the thing is, I'm pressure. These girls know I'm pressure. These girls, so I know in their mind they're like, well, clearly Kennedy ain't all that because he's easy access. So I'm upset. And I remember like he just kept confusing me and I started crying because I'm just like getting upset, right? Y'all, my best friend Grace, who I'm about to talk about, literally, I have posted him on my story, and she swipes up and goes, "Oh hell no, not him again." So that tells y'all like real life action was happening right now. So, like I said, I'm crying, I'm upset, and he's just consoling me, and he's like, it's just you, like it's no one else, like it's just us, Kennedy, like there's nobody else, like it is just you." So I'm starting to feel a little bit okay. I'm feeling at peace. Grace, who I'm about to bring up, who just DM'd me, this is my best friend Grace. We're best friends now. Hey Grace, I love her so much. And we started like actually going like physically to his games at this point. I'm going to his games and she also was talking to one of his teammates. So, it was just a vibe for us, right? One day I was leaving the stadium really late and I also had to pee. So like I was in the bathroom forever. I like saw him and I got nervous. And so like I started running out. And Grace was like, I pulled the car up front because like she drove. So I'm like, okay. As I'm leaving, like I said, I see him, I get nervous. And then as I turn around, I saw him hugging another girl. This is now girl what? Like girl number 4 in this equation so far between me and him. Literally see him hugging another girl. And like as I turned, I could see him looking, I guess trying to see if I saw. And I was so freaking embarrassed. Right? No one knew. I mean, no one was out there knew I watched. But like for me, I'm like, wow, like, is this really what you did? And like my heart just sank. Because just right before he just was telling me, it's just you. There's nobody else. It's just you. It's just me and you. Like you're the only person I got eyes for. You're the only person that understand me. Wow. So my feelings are like really hurt. I run to the car, I tell Grace. Me and Grace have our little night. We spend like hours in the car listening to sad music, talking about how shitty boys are. She just got out of like a relationship, so we're talking about how crazy they are. I'm crying, all that. Like I said, I feel real dumb and everything. Did I bring it up to him? Yes, I did. Cue the screenshot. This was not waiting for in person conversation. No. I know what the fuck I saw. So we're gonna talk about it right at that moment. So sorry, it's on the phone, not the iPad this time. He responds to a different message that I sent him about my hair because at this point I started wearing my hair natural, um, and it was curly and like not straight. And I messaged him and I said, "So I thought you said it was just me, and it was just us because it didn't seem that way after your game." He says, like the little emoji, like with the eyes up. He says, "Okay, bruh." First of all, who the fuck you call him bruh? Bruh. He don't even talk like that. I said, "Bruh." I said, "That was a whole question. 2 questions to be correct." He goes, "It was clearly only one, and I was talking to a friend of mine. So if you want to try and question me about me talking to people after a game, you can relax because I'm still single at the end of the day, regardless." He lucky he didn't say that shit to me in person because, yeah, we would have been boxing. Okay. I don't even need to read y'all my response because clearly you understand where I'm coming from. At this point, I'm very upset because it's like, this is not what you just were telling me. Now all of a sudden you're single. Now all of a sudden you're single. I thought we was focusing. And the thing that messes me up is I fall for this stuff all the time with these guys. Why? Because I feel sorry, because I know they're stressed, they're under pressure, he's in season, it's November, it's prime time. I'm trying to understand that, but at the same time I feel like they sometimes take advantage of that. So like I said, I'm upset. He ignores me for weeks, almost basically a month, and one of his teammates was coming to my family's for Thanksgiving. I mean, yeah, for Thanksgiving. I invited him and I was like, "You can come or whatever." And of course he didn't come, whatever. We never really got back. Like we just fought for months at this point. Like all it is fighting, pretty much. For like the next like weeks to months, he's ignoring me and it's messing with my anxiety like really badly. He just ignored me. So here we come with girl number. So that girl's like girl number 4 or 5. Here comes another one, another situation. The troll situation. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to turn the air on because it's gotten really hot in the car. I'm sorry. Okay. So hopefully it's not too loud. But I was posting like at one of the games and And the thing is too, if you know me, I love sports, so of course I'm going like as many games as I can, whatever. But of course, whatever. So I posted a game and this troll swipes up on me. It's a girl. She's calling me a hoe. You sleeping with all these dudes on this team. I'm like, girl, all these dudes on the team. Girl, stop playing with me. You sleeping with all these dudes on this team. That's why you were always at the games. Yada 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 yada. Like I could just like sports, which I do. But anyways, I was there to see my man. But whatever. Long story short, she said something and I connected that it was about him. So she's troll like we're getting into it. Turns out this girl he said has done this to other girls he's talked to in the past. How she found me, I don't know. Because he only was posted on my Snapchat, and my Snapchat is like private. So what? So she had been like, but she knew about me early on. She had been watching me since March of 2019. It's now November that she wants to say something. She even swiped up one day and asked a opinion, asked about something. So she's saying all this stuff. Like, I'm pissed. I'm very upset. Like, I'm talking to my mom about it. My mom is cussing her out. Like, it's a whole thing. I'm upset, groupies, you know how it goes. And me and him brought it up actually like this past week. And he was like, out of everybody, he was like, you were the only girl that she constantly did that to. Like some of them, she would say little stuff, but she was telling me like, he's sleeping with other girls. You ain't the only one. You think you're special. You're not really special to him. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna pull up the screenshots because I got the receipts for that too, because I don't want to upset myself. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You're really doing this. Okay. So she's saying all this stuff. He's telling me like, don't listen to her. She just talking. She don't know what she talking about. I'm like, who else been who you been with? Like, why is she saying this? Like, what's going on? And he's just telling me like the girl tripping. I mean, she was tripping, talking to me like she's crazy. She was tripping. But like I said, I was feeling some type of way because I'm like, pause, right? Okay. So I'm trying to like, take his word for it, not worry about if it is other girls or whatever, but I already kind of had an idea clearly, right? Um Eventually just go ahead, block the account. She made another account. I blocked that one too. Like just I can't deal with him, okay? He and I still aren't like fully good, of course, and it's his season, so I'm trying to be respectful. It's now December of 2019. I invited him to Christmas because of his schedule. They had a game not on Christmas, but like around that time. Like I can't remember what Christmas was that day. Bottom line, they couldn't go home because they had a game, but it wasn't literally on Christmas. Okay. I invited him for Christmas, and then also, I heard through the grapevine from my friends, they sent me screenshots and was like, "Why is he on Tinder?" I'm like, "He's on Tinder still?" So I go activate, log back into my Tinder, activate it. Since we were a match, it had a thing where it would tell you like if people update their pictures. And he updated his picture, he had, like new pictures, like pictures from like weeks that he took before, like a few weeks ago that he took. And I'm like, wow, that's real interesting. Like, why is he still on Tinder? Of course, I was gonna bring it up to him in person. We never got to talk about it. So it's Christmas Eve. He sends me, I'm like blowing his phone up. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm not coming to your families. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. Like he was real rude and blunt. His teammate's story, I'm looking at it, and his teammates posting him like drunk. It's Christmas Day. They're at this house, and I'm like, whose house is it? Like it looked like a legit family home. And I hear these white girls in the back, and I'm like, whose house is he at? Who's he with? So fast forward to later, I do find out all of that. I found out that actually on his birthday. So like months later, and so that's actually like when it hurting my feelings. But anyways, so he wasn't with me, but he was with these girls, and I'm like, okay. So we decide that we're gonna meet on a Tuesday or whatever after his away game. He's like I got another away game. We can meet on like my like off day. We can meet and we can talk about everything and get back to good place. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's the day, and I'm literally waiting for him to let me know that he's free. So I'm just waiting for him to tell me like what time to pull up or whatever. I'm at IHOP with my family, and my friend, well, Eris is more like my cousin. She's been on the podcast. I get a text message from her. Well, we won't read it. It'll take too long. She sends me text messages, and she's telling me like, "Bro, are you still with blank?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like we're supposed to meet today to talk about it. She's like, "He's right now on a date at Kona Grill," and I'm like, "What? Kona Grill's on the Plaza here in Kansas City. It's pretty expensive." I'm like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean he's on a date? Like he's supposed to meet me tonight?" He's on a date. She sends me the pictures. There's like 4 or 5 pictures of him. She's like, "Hold the live down." We're watching the live. I'm sending it to like my sister. Like, it was a whole thing. So of course, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until I see him so we can talk about it because he's supposed to meet me tonight. Days go by and he doesn't contact me. Now, mind you, I'm like, this is the day that you're supposed to be with me, but you're out on a date with another girl at a nice restaurant. Oh, okay. So I'm just, depressed. For other things, also, track season started. So I got a lot going on. It's now January of 2020. Happy New Year. And we find out at this moment who the girl is. Grace and I, of course, go to another game. And like I said, remember when the guy she's talking to is on the team. So we're sitting here, and a few rows ahead of me, out of the whole stadium, there's a girl. Now I'm telling Grace about how I don't like this girl. Me and her have really bad history from back in the day, X, Y, and Z. We look at her highlights in her head, and we pull up the pictures. And Grace is like, Kennedy, that's her. I said, oh my God. Like, it's literally the girl. How ironic. Not only is she at his game, she's rows in front of me. We solved the mystery. Now, mind you, she's basically a catfish because she was not looking as good as she does on Instagram. So I'm sending them to Eris, and I'm like, Eris, and she's like, I guess that is her. Like, what? Like, we got pictures of the back of her head. Like, we done piece it together. The only reason I can't post any of this is because, like, that's petty. It's not petty. It's just like I don't want people knowing who the guy is I'm talking about. And it was her like the whole time. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So we're freaking out, dying laughing, like angry laughing. We talking shit. Few weeks go by. I still haven't met with him. It's prime time of his season, so I'm trying to be respectful. We get into it about how he basically like we're supposed to be talking, you haven't met up with me, blah blah blah. And then I just say it, but you got time to go on a date with another girl the exact day that you're supposed to be meeting with me, but you made time for that, but you can't make time for me. And I'm gonna read these screenshots because I want you to understand the experience of like how basically I was always gaslit by him to make like I was crazy. He says, if I'm so twisted in the head and can't communicate, a dog. I don't know what the heck he's talking about, a dog. Oh, and he's a dog. Don't know how to see for others, and I'm not a good guy. Why am I still here trying and giving you the time of day? I said because it's your I said because it's your type that my head is fucked up. Fucked up. I said that's your type. All the girls you talk to are messed up. That's on your rep sheet. I said you missed the point. I said your sport takes up a lot of your time, but when you have free time, you chose to spend it with her. You choose to go out on a date with her instead of meeting with me to talk as we planned, knowing you never have time, but yet the time you did, you chose to do it with her. I said you made it clear then what your priorities were. I didn't pull that out of my ass and guess. So I'm not even going to keep waiting for you to finally notice. When I said I knew, I knew. So don't lie to me. He goes false because when I actually do have free time, I usually spend it on my own or with my teammates. Also, can you tell me when and where I was on this date with her? Because where did you pull that out of from? Because it's not a valid source. At this point, I can't try to make you believe me since you got all the answers. So for sure. I said exactly whatever his name is. You spend it with them or yourself. And if you're going to see an outside person, then it's not me. That's the point. You went to Kona Grill with her on December 23rd after the blank game. Meanwhile, I was at home like a dumbass waiting to meet up with you, but you clearly already moved on at that point before you could even cut ties with me to my face. I guess working on ourselves is a different concept for both of us. Stop BSing. I have proof, blank. Just give it up. And because of all this, you don't even deserve to have me one last time. I'd I'd be giving myself away to someone of less value. Period. He goes, all right, Kennedy. I guess it's different concept for us. Nice knowing you. Thank you for all the time you spent. It was good while it lasted. I won't forget you. And right, dance around the entire point that you're just a liar. Gave you chances and you couldn't even be honest or apologize for whatever it is that you did. So we keep blabbing on. And then I go, and since you still think I'm lying, here you go. Here's the proof. I pulled up the pictures. I said the last one is my favorite one. Isn't it so cute? He goes, this is the gaslighting part. Apparently, we have different definitions of a date. I did not lie to you because, for one, it wasn't a date. And for two, after I ate with her, I went home and was chilling by myself, like I said. For three, if I was on an actual date, I wouldn't be wearing my team sweatsuit and practice gear and have my hood on for half the time. I'd actually dress up for it, but you wouldn't know that since we never went on a date since you want to be disrespectful. Who are we talking to? Before it wasn't planned, I was hungry. She asked me to go and we just went. And like I said, we don't talk serious, but just because I make an appearance with someone in public doesn't mean I'm in a relationship or whatever you want to call it with them. And I know the person who took the pictures because pictures because she pointed out the person and said that that girl went to school with her at SDA. So whoever took the pictures of me isn't slick however whatsoever. I'm not worried that you have pictures showing proof that I went to Kona Grill and then we're talking about the next topic. The point was, now you're trying to make me feel stupid. Now you're trying to say, like, oh, it wasn't a date. I was wearing my team practice gear. Oh, it wasn't a date. I was wearing, like, what? Like, don't play with me right now. Doesn't matter if it quote unquote wasn't planned. You were supposed to be with me that day on your off day, and yet you chose to go. We could have went and got food. Why would you go and do that? But yet you're trying to make me feel crazy and like I'm overreacting, right? And it's funny. Remember these moments because it's all gonna come to light. We keep arguing back and forth, and then it gets to the point of he's like, "Let me try again. I really want to start over. Like, I've really been doing you wrong. Whatever. Let's try." I'm like, "Okay, sure. Just finish out the season. We'll discuss it." Grace and I decide to get ready to go to the game. It was a later time game. So we're getting ready to go. And we did like a whole get ready with me. Like, it was a whole I'm like really feeling pretty and like feeling confident. I get to the game. And a girl's still coming to the game. She's still coming to the games. I'm like, first of all, who's paying for your ticket? Let me stop. Not who's paying for your tickets. I'm like, what's going on? So at that game, I just was having a really emotional moment and I started crying and I left. I left poor Grace there by herself. RIP. I'm sorry, Grace. I had to go home. I couldn't do it. I just felt like really stupid. Like I'm trying to look pretty for you. I mean, like he wasn't gonna see me clearly at the game. Like he's not gonna be able to spot me. But like I just felt dumb. We have another fight again, you guys. Another fight. Kennedy, why are you still here with this man? I don't know. We're supposed to be meeting and stuff, still standing me up. We don't really meet. Mind you, this is also track season. So I'm really stressful. I'm not even gonna read the screenshots. He throws it in my face. Yeah, well, you're over here talking to other NFL players or whatever. And I'm like, really? This is where we're going? And I was like, the only reason I even started talking to this one NFL player again was literally because he was messing with a girl, went on a date with her and stuff. Like trying to play the victim and trying to tell me like I'm not worried about him. Clearly I got somebody else and all this. I'm like, wow, you're gaslighting me again. Okay. It's the last home game of the season and his whole family's in town for the game. So I was like, okay, don't do it, don't do it. I look at the girl's story that night. She stayed like 2 hours after the game in the stadium to see him take pictures with him. So at this point, I'm like, bro, bye. Like, she's posting pics with him. Like, it's hours later, right? Like, who stays that freaking late to wait for him to get out the locker room, wait for him to get a meetings, like everything. I'm like, what? All right, bet. The rest of it, honestly, is just history of blocking and unblocking. I really couldn't take it anymore. Fast forward to now, I haven't seen him in person since he was last playing in Kansas City. He doesn't play in Kansas City anymore as of now. I'm now in Dallas. So, we were just being cool, catching up when I was in Dallas. But, I'm supposed to meet up with him now, right before his season starts in the fall. And I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm gonna tell you why. We did go ahead and have a discussion. I was like, so like when I left KC, like were you still messing with her, whatever. First he tried to play stupid, and then he went ahead. Turns out I was right. He was talking to the girl. He says now he's not talking to her. It's not a thing. Like if I go back, if I go back to KC, like I'm not gonna talk to her. Like I don't talk to her, whatever. But I was right. You see what I'm saying? So he was talking to the girl, but the whole time was gaslighting me, made me feel stupid, crazy. Like oh no, I'm not talking to anyone else, but he was. So I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. So that's still rubbing me the wrong way. You really like made me feel like I was insane that whole time, and yet you were talking to her. Okay, so of course, what's going on with the other ones? I don't know. It's just still really a real hard pill to swallow because I have like really bad reasons for not liking her, like from the past. So it's just a lot, and I'm like, how could you feel so okay to constantly make me feel insane, to gaslight me all the time, to play the victim when I was actually right, when you could have just told me the truth, you know? Um Now like I just don't know what place we're in, honestly. I'm still don't know. Like we can always be cool. Hi, how what's up? And he's still, trying to focus on his career is what he told me. Same thing. He's still focused on his career. He's got a new team this fall. Like this year, he needs to focus. But it sounds like you're saying the same things you were saying this whole past like 4 years. Like, what's going to be different this time? I really don't know. I feel like the phase was just too long that I was in with him. It needed to have been cut off a long time ago. I really don't know if I wanna do this again. Like, I'm really trying to decide, but it's just like, after you've been involved with someone, and that's a hard thing. I really am trying my best not to hold guys accountable for things they did when we were younger. When you're 22, 23, you're still growing, you're still young, especially being an athlete, you got girls always coming after you, like, I understand, but the stakes are just getting higher. You just so I don't know. I feel like he did things that were very unnecessary for those years, and our last, like, big fallout too was about that girl. The girl who was always at his games that I went to school. It's a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna communicate with him again on a deeper level. We'll see if I go and see him. I really don't know. I'm about to start my new career, so I've got about 6 weeks that I'll be busy with that to kinda decide and think about it. But y'all like my crazy life stories with these men, with these athletes, so I thought to share this one. Since we and him are supposed to be starting a new chapter, let's go ahead and talk about it right now. Thank you guys so much for listening. Oh my god, y'all, I'm sweating like a mug at this car. If you're watching on YouTube, you're probably like, "Girl, you're drenched." Hope to talk to you guys later. We'll figure it out. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just don't know if I wanna deal with the same gaslighting and like, have you really grown? Have you really changed? We'll see. Love you guys so much. See you in the next one. Bye.